You know, I really like to open these things up with a quote from the books that kind of gets the point across of what I'm talking about. But we're starting to get into the weird parts of the Dresden RPG. That being magic users. There are, I was about to say three, but four magic using templates right out of the gate. Those being the Focused Practitioner, the Minor Talent, the Sorcerer, and of course, the Wizard. And, since I'm going through these alphabetically, I'd like to talk today about the Focused Practitioner. Just like I'd normally have a quote, normally I would have a script, but this thing is bonkers, and it's been driving me nuts to try and figure out exactly the best way to talk about it. So I'm just going to dive right into it. The Focused Practitioner is joked about in the RPG as being a prefix mancer. In other words, if you can think of a prefix and slap mancer on the end of it, you have a Focused Practitioner. Aeromancer for someone who channels wind, Pyromancer for fire, Geomancer for earth. But it's not, of course, just the elemental magics, it's anything. The most popular form of Focused Practitioner around my table is actually the Ectomancer, the Ghost Wizard, someone who can channel the power of spirits. It's not necromancy, I promise. So, the Focused Practitioner is just so weird. It's, from what you could have guessed from what I just said, it's a magic user that can do one type of magic, just one broad area of study, but they do it spectacularly well. They have a natural gift for it. And this, in the lore, is really kind of the difference between people that the White Council would never notice and a sorcerer or wizard. A Focused Practitioner can do that one thing, and they can do it spectacularly well, and in the novels, we even see one of them do stuff that Harry Dresden, the protagonist, never could, that being Mortimer, the Ectomancer. So, now comes the part where I talk about the pros and cons of playing the thing. Well, to be completely honest, it's probably the best magic user for low-level play. It's got exactly one prerequisite stat-wise, and that being you must select either the channeling or ritual supernatural powers. And as always, your high concept must tie into your template in some way, showing off what you can do. For instance, Insecure Ectomancer, or Kinetomancer Aerialist, or someone in our games had, oh geez, I'm drawing a blank, but it was something about being a Vapormancer. He uses smoke magic. It's really interesting, but the Focused Practitioner is like one of the most fun things you can do in the game, in my opinion, because you don't have to deal with the high power level that comes with sorcerers and wizards, but magic is vague enough in the system where you can have a ton of fun with this. Like, just make sure you read up on the rules. You and GM are on the same page on how much you can do with magic, and you'll have a good time. Just being a pyromancer, for instance, might not sound that exciting in the long run, but think about everything you could do with fire, with heat, with light. The possibilities are endless. So, GMs, on you. I'm going to say this probably in every magic-related video that I do here on the Dresden Files RPG, and that's read the book. And I don't mean read the chapter on running the game, I mean read the damn book cover to cover, take notes, do what you need to do. The thing is written spectacularly, but organized poorly. If you can, I really recommend that you, in addition to your story, I should just turn my head around to look at my bookshelf. There we go. You also pick up the Paranet Papers supplement. It's just full of ideas on magic and the Never Never, and it's full of, I think, off the top of my head, it has some revisions on how magic works as well. It makes it a little easier. And honestly, it's probably the best book of the three. But I'm not here to talk books. I'm here to talk Focused Practitioner. So, overall, it scales on a probably 5, I'd say, out of the 14 templates presented. The Focused Practitioner has to sit at 5 on mine, towards the middle, but higher up than some of the others. And while it is the most powerful, I'd say, of the low-level casting templates, it's not my favorite. The minor talent beats it out, but we'll talk about that when we get there. In the meanwhile, just remember that Focused Practitioner, broad area of magic, minor talent, one thing. A minor talent gets one spell, and a sorcerer or wizard can do just about anything with magic. That's all. Okay, so let me then discuss... Oh, God. This is why it took me so long to put this out. Like, the whole difference between Focused Practitioners and minor talents is so hard to explain to new people. Like, I think even the book doesn't do a fantastic job of this, but it's better than anything I could do. So, how do you know if your character is a Focused Practitioner or a minor talent? Ask your GM. Work with your GM. Work very closely with your GM. Odds are, if they can do incredible things with a broad area of magic, they're a Focused Practitioner. If they can do one thing particularly well, they're a minor talent. And if they can do just magic in general, they're probably a sorcerer. And if they're the best at magic, they're a wizard. So I'd like to close here by talking about the most recent example of this in my games. That is the Confusion. I have a few new people who have never played the Dresden RPG in my upcoming game that's actually doing character creation tomorrow. She wants to play someone who can go in and out of the Never Never, based on a power that she saw in the book called World Walker. And it's a really cool one. I might even cover it in its own video eventually, but I was thinking she could be a Portomancer, a kind of portal-based Focused Practitioner that could summon forth, maybe summon forth beings from the Never Never, but more importantly, create portals that go just about anywhere. But we talked about it, and that's not what she wanted at all. She wants somebody who can kind of open portals to the Never Never, with mostly an idea of where they go, but also kind of accidentally opens doors and doesn't really do it on purpose most of the time. And I thought about it, and that's when I realized that this is neither a Focused Practitioner or a minor talent. This is none of the presented templates. What do we do? Well, you make your own. And I'll talk about that next time. Thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Too long on the exit stitch.